I do want to bring up one other thing that we didn't talk about, which is just the mega packs, which I wanted to talk about on CNBC today, but they cut me off.
Oh, sorry, we ran out of time. Thank you. I'm just kidding. Go ahead.
but you go.
It is
I had to.
catalyst, and look, I was slow to come around, but the sell side is not talking about mega packs, and so Lathrop came on. I've done a bunch of research, in the last couple of weeks, just trying to get up to speed on it. And many of you are way ahead of me on this, and thank you for helping me understand it. But if we really have Lathrop can have capacity of 10,000 units per year, and these things sell for $2 million each, and they're really backup energy storage sources. Everybody, for peak hours wants that backup energy, and a lot of people want something that's more sustainable. The wait time to get one of these is not till 2024. So if
late 2024.
Right. So if Lathrop can do even 5,000 per year, and a lot of it's based on can they get the batteries needed to produce 5 or 10,000 units. 5,000 units at $2 million each is $10 billion. There's a lot of debate what kind of gross margin is going to be on this. I just assumed a more conservative 20%. There are people using numbers like 60%. I don't know. But even if it's 20%, that adds incrementally 50 cents to $1 per share in earnings. And you're also going to get some tax credits as a result of this. So
exactly
50 cents to $1 in earnings when we're only looking for, we're now at 570, our new number for 2023.
Yeah, and Wall Street much lower.
And the street's at 515. That could be a huge surprise, and nobody is talking about it. There's a bunch of buy-side people talking about it, but very few people on the sell side are talking about it. So that could be a real positive surprise.
What are the chances?
I am so happy to hear you say this. You have no idea. It's been 3 weeks of getting you
This is almost a signal. If Gary Black's on the mega pack train, look out, right? It's like one of those things that's very exciting.
Better late than
never. And let's now see your impact, because you'll see once you talk about it, it will filter through. Let's just watch it happen.
Talk about it on CNBC, but they just literally ran out of time. I said, ask me about the mega pack, and Carl didn't ask me about it, and then I wanted to talk about it, and they just couldn't do it. So that's fine. Next time.
Yeah. So let me ask you this, Gary. What are the chances that this is the trigger in Q4 earnings that could be a surprise? Because like when I think about what are the things that could surprise in Q4, there's not a lot. 405,000 deliveries. Doesn't seem like there's any room for surprise there, especially when they're dropping prices in the US for the last couple of weeks. You got the China incentives. You got that full self-driving one-time impact from the deferred revenue, but everybody's going to back that out like we talked about, right? But like really the only thing there is energy. So how big of an impact could there be? Like a 50%, 100% growth quarter over quarter because of that Lathrop? By the way, kudos for pronouncing Lathrop correctly. I've heard so many people calling it something else, and I'm like, it's Lathrop. How do you think about that? How do you think about Q4 impact with energy?
I don't see it impacting Q4. I mean, it really just came online at the end of third quarter, and it's a new factory. You're going to have startup issues, and so you could have some, I don't know, make up a number. 1,000 of these units produced, maybe, but I'd be making it up. And from a profitability standpoint, I don't know if it's going to add much. I don't want to set the expectations out there that it's going to happen in fourth quarter, but I do think it's going to be something they'll talk about on the earnings call. When they came up with their 20 accomplishments for 2022, this was one of them, and it was with a bunch of other really big accomplishments. So I think you'll hear a lot more about it during Investor Day, and I think that's when the sell side will pick up on it and start. It doesn't take a lot to do the math. If you have 10,000 units of capacity, even if you did 5,000 at $2 million a pop, it's a huge number. And
it is.
I think that's where the sell side will get excited about it.
And I actually expect another factory for that. I don't know whether it's going to be in the United States or in China, because yesterday we saw a report how eager China is to have more mega packs. So I expect that they're going to announce not only a car gigafactory, but also a second factory now for the mega packs.
Look, it fits with the brand, it fits with the vision, it fits with the whole accelerate sustainable energy. But there's a very practical purpose when you're talking to utilities and communities and even companies that want to be green. It's a perfect product for Tesla if they can just outdistance the competition on it.
Yeah. The way I think about it is the grid, the energy grid for most countries is a hot mess, and it's extremely inefficient. And if you can introduce a product that's going to lower the cost of a utility, lower the cost to the consumer, make it much more reliable, and because it's such a hot mess, you can keep a lot of that profit to yourself because of that crazy gap between the product you're offering right now and the mess that it is. This seems like the perfect time for Tesla to be like, okay, check this out. Nobody talked about this before. Boom. All of a sudden you're entering a potential $1 trillion industry in 5 to 10 years. And you think about what are the moving pieces in a mega pack compared to a Tesla car. It's probably one half to one fifth, of the moving of the parts that take up a mega pack. You think about the EV versus the gas car. You had this crazy reduction in parts. And now you go from the electric car to the mega pack, which if you have even similar margins, the mega pack is a no-brainer product for you because it takes a fraction of the labor and the processes and the steps to manufacture these things. You don't have to deal with brakes. You don't got to deal with wheels. You don't got to deal with all these little auxiliary things. You don't got to worry about a trim that doesn't rattle when you're driving it around. It's just a box. What the hell?
And much more recession resistance. The entities purchasing this have nothing to do with real economy. So that is really a product that will perform no matter the economic climate.
Exactly.
So I'll talk more about it. Hopefully, on Investor Day, they'll talk about it and people will get excited about it. And it's going to be another catalyst that everybody's going to focus on.
Move it up in your catalyst list. Higher up.
Number one.
There we go.
Yeah.